Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now I'll let Usher explain that to y'all.
Will the feds investigate the rumors that Kid Cudi's car was blown up by Diddy because he dated Cassie Ventura?
Now, I have no idea who Diddy thought he was trying to intimidate a child and a woman. Who you are? You think you El Chapo? But you about to get hit even harder.
Sean Diddy Combs is not doing too hot right now, and for good reasons. The Bad Boy Records founder is 6 feet under thanks to multiple lawsuits, and he's got no one to blame but himself for his circumstances. Over the years, the music mogul has been able to get away with a lot, but karma's finally caught up to him. Rumors that had been brushed under the carpet are once again a topic of discussion as fans try to peel back the layers of lies and cover-ups. Just what has the record executive been accused of over the years? And what does the future look like for him? Now, let's find out.
Puff Daddy is the king of deception. Every time we was in the party, oh, he was throwing his champagne, his vodka in every picture. He was so we didn't know. We like, yo, he's a great guy. This is a great party. This is a great, yo, give me your clothes. I'ma rock it in the video, yo. Sean John sold 400 million. The champagne, this. Boy, the joke's on us.
Diddy's got quite a rap sheet, but the allegations about him mistreating a young Usher and Justin Bieber are a real head-turner. Let's start with Usher.
Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now I'll let Usher explain that to y'all.
Back in the day, L.A. Reid sent the young singer off to live with Diddy to learn the business firsthand. There's nothing wrong with Diddy taking in a protege, is there?
I moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
Except Usher was only 14 years old, and Diddy was big on partying. He wasn't exactly the best role model you'd want for a kid. But the adults ignored the red flags, and the result, Usher's childhood, was corrupted. He spilled the beans himself during an interview with Howard Stern, saying that he got to see some curious things he couldn't make sense of.
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
That and the fact that he was given free rein to stay up well past the normal kid's bedtime with all the adults partying. Considering what fans know about Diddy's parties, a young teen had no business being there.
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 in the morning with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
When Usher was asked whether he'd consider sending his own kid to Diddy's infamous flavor camp, he straight up said no. We should tell fans all they need to know about what the singer was exposed to as a child.
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Hell no.
There's also that video of Diddy talking about sharing a bed with a young Usher and fighting over Frosted Flakes, which has now since been deleted. Now, why would an adult share a bed with a teenager?
My brother right here from day one, we used to wake up and, damn, pause, but like, check this out. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented.
Yeah, I bet they did.
You know.
Somebody frosted somebody frosted somebody flakes. Without the milk.
If you think fans are reaching with the theories, you might want to read through Lil Rod's earth-shattering lawsuit, which we'll get into in a while. One paragraph reads, Mr. Combs informed Mr. Jones that he had engaged in physical relations with rapper, redacted, R&B singer, redacted, and Stevie J. Footnote 6 is interesting because it hinted at someone who graced the Super Bowl stage and had a successful Vegas residency. Still think it's far-fetched? To add to the drama, Usher may not have been the last one to suffer at Diddy's hands. It turns out that there's the faintest possibility that Justin Bieber has a similar story. With the internet learning of the skeletons in Diddy's closet, some fans dug up an old video of a 15-year-old Justin Bieber hanging out with 40-year-old Diddy. In the footage, Diddy talks about lending Justin his silver Lamborghini when he turned 16. He also talked about looking after Justin for 48 hours while boasting about being Usher's legal guardian. Meanwhile, to some fans, Justin looked extremely uncomfortable the entire time.
As soon as you turn 16, what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you rock this every time you come to LA, yeah. But it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know, he did his first album. I did Usher's first album.
One fan commented, "The way Diddy looks at Justin the whole time, it looks like a lion looking at a meal." Heck, some fans have been pleading with Justin to reveal the truth, but according to one source, the baby singer has no plans to confront the ghosts of his past. However, when it comes to allegations that flushed Diddy's career down the toilet, Cassie paved the way. She filed a federal lawsuit against the former music mogul, sending shockwaves throughout the industry. The R&B singer recounted living a horrible reality behind the glitz and the glam, one where she was forced to suffer years of mistreatment at Diddy's hand. From giving her illegal substances to physically beating her up, Diddy proved that he was the worst man on the planet.
Sean Puffy Combs has been accused by Cassie or Cassandra Ventura of rape and years of abuse. Some of the allegations in her initial pleading are as follows. Mr. Combs raped her in her own home after she said that she wanted to leave him. He often punched, kicked, beat, and stomped on her, causing her physical injury.
However, the part that had fans shaken to their core was about the male freak-offs. Apparently, Diddy would force Cassie to sleep with male workers while drugged and filmed everything. Leave it to Diddy to always surprise everyone with his sinister acts.
Forced her to engage in acts with male workers while touching himself and filming the encounters.
And if you're wondering, why didn't Cassie leave him after he showed his true colors? Well, Diddy had her on a leash. He threatened to derail her music career and recruited close associates to cover up his despicable behavior if anything came to light.
Whenever Miss Ventura tried to leave, Mr. Combs kept coming back to pursue her.
Also, let's not forget that Diddy straight up blew up Kid Cudi's car after he expressed interest in Cassie. A spokesman for the rapper even confirmed the singer's version of events.
His access, if you can blow someone's car up, it just goes to the reach that you have, you know, and it just substantiates someone's fear of him, especially, you know, we were talking about witness protection earlier. You know, he has reach. He can send someone to blow up a car.
Cassie's story was also backed up by Diddy's former head of security, Roger Barnes. A week after Cassie said her piece, Bond took to IG to tell his side of the story. He wrote, "This isn't meant to be threats, snitching, or anything like that against Cassie or Diddy or anyone else. This is me telling my truth as I truly remember it for two reasons only. First, because I have 4 daughters. So on all dudes, my truth as I seen it, saw it, and was involved with for years." That said, despite Diddy's underhanded tactics to scare Cassie into submission, the singer was able to overcome her fear and take the record executive to court. And it's a good thing she did, because her actions inspired a long line of women who were waiting to tell their stories. Shortly after Cassie's lawsuit hit the papers, a woman named Joey Dickerson Neal stepped forward and sued the record executive for essentially giving her illegal substances and taking advantage of her when she was a college student back in 1991.
Really serious allegations that clearly rise to the level of criminal conduct, if true.
Then there was Jane Doe, who accused the record executive of seriously inappropriate behavior when she was only 17 years old. She supported her claims with pictures of Diddy and her from back in the day. However, just when Diddy thought he'd weathered the storm, another Jane Doe claimed to have been mistreated by not only Diddy, but also his longtime friend and singer-songwriter, Aaron Hall, in 1990 or 1991, after she met him at an MCA Records event in New York.
The third lawsuit in as much time levied against Combs and his inner circle. This one, as
While these lawsuits tarnished Diddy's reputation, it was music producer Rodney Little Rod Jones who dealt the final blow to Diddy's house of cards. Back in February 2023, Little Rod filed a lawsuit against Sean in the Southern District of New York for inappropriate behavior and for forcing him to engage with workers against his will.
This P. Diddy lawsuit from Rodney Jones probably has Diddy screwed. Rodney Jones came with receipts for everything that he alleged that P. Diddy has done, and there is some crazy stuff that it is mentioned in this document.
Mind you, Diddy's been accused of being gay for years. Back in the day, 50 Cent called the record executive fruity for offering to take him shopping.
Like he said something to me one time, a long time ago. At Chris Lighty's wedding, he told me he'd take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You're gonna make me mess up the wedding.
Now, things would have been fine if Diddy's sexuality was the only thing on the table. However, The problem was that Diddy was rumored to be taking advantage of young male artists under him, forcing them to partake in disgusting encounters, and it seems like Jones ended up on that list. He had the chance to work with the music mogul on his Grammy-nominated The Love album, Off the Grid. However, the opportunity of a lifetime left the music producer with trauma for life. His story is similar to Cassie's, as he recounted being drugged and being forced to put up with unwanted advances from Diddy. Jones also claimed that Diddy had access to firearms, distributed illegal substances, and provided laced drinks to young girls and workers attending his parties. What's worse is when Jones took his complaints to Diddy's chief of staff, Christina Coram, she straight up told him, "You know, Sean will be Sean," and that this was his way of showing Jones that he liked him. And for anyone claiming that Jones might be pulling rabbits out of his hats, well, you better buckle up because Diddy apparently ordered him to record everything for him. This was a dumb move because it left the music producer with hours of audio and video footage of him and his staff doing some shady stuff, which might just seal his fate. That said, what makes Lil Rod's lawsuit stand out is the fact that he didn't only go after Diddy, but also his associates. And one name that keeps popping up is Cuba Gooding Jr. A lot of people have stepped forward over the years to reveal that Diddy is friends with a lot of notable celebrities who secretly benefit from the record producer's sinister acts in the shadows. That seems to be the relationship between Diddy and Cuba. According to Jones, Puff was essentially grooming him to pass him off to his friends, and that list of friends had Gooding's name on top.
Now, Cuba, you know you done stepped in it real hard.
According to the lawsuit, in January 2023, Diddy introduced the two while they were on his yacht in the Virgin Islands. Now, everything would have been fine had it simply been a case of connecting two people, which is what Jones initially thought. But the reality of the situation dawned on him when Diddy left the two under the pretense of giving them privacy to get to know one another.
Began touching, groping, and fondling Mr. Jones' legs, upper thighs, near the groin, the small of the back, the buttocks, and the shoulders. Man, you was trying to get him ready, weren't you? Well, Lil Rodney said, because you want to push me that way, little boy, I'm putting you in the SA lawsuit too. And it's not like Lil Rodney doesn't have evidence. In the lawsuit, he has screenshots from a video of Cuba Gooding Jr. approaching him on that boat, messing with him on that boat. So he should...
Cuba's despicable actions scarred Jones for life. He claims to have suffered from physical injury, severe emotional distress, humiliation, anxiety, and other consequential damages. No wonder he amended the lawsuit to include Gooding's name. And while we're on the topic, Cuba ain't the only one who got name-dropped in the suit. Of all the names that fans expected Jones to drop, Prince Harry was probably the last on the planet. So imagine everyone's shock when they read his name in the lawsuit.
Now Prince Harry has been named in a $30 million lawsuit against the hip-hop mogul.
Now don't get Jones wrong, he didn't accuse our Prince Charming of something dubious, but he's guilty of having connections with Diddy, which is questionable on its own. The question is, why would Prince Harry, the man who supposedly has everything, end up in Diddy's circle? Well, it seems like the parties were simply too good to pass up. According to the lawsuit, Mr. Combs was known for throwing the best parties. Affiliation with and/or sponsorship of Mr. Combs' human trafficking parties garnered legitimacy and access to celebrities such as famous athletes, political figures, artists, musicians, and international dignitaries like British Royal Prince Harry. Looks like Diddy ended up introducing him to his lifestyle after all. For those of you scratching your head right now, back in 2012, the record executive told The Sun he was hoping to catch up with Harry while he was in London. He continued saying, "He's such a cool guy, and it's about time we hung out. I need him to take me to some of those wild Mayfair clubs." Diddy had previously met Harry while attending a tribute concert for his late mother, Princess Diana, back in 2007. That said, Diddy's parties have been described as the land of the lawless over the years. Back in 2017, the former Revolt Media CEO was sued by his own chef, Cindy Rueda, for exposure to indecent activity and commentary during her employment. According to Cindy, she was regularly summoned by Mr. Combs to prepare and serve entrees and appetizers to him and his guests, while Mr. Combs and/or his guests were engaged in or immediately following sexual activity. On that note, the fact that Diddy has connections with someone from the royal family isn't too surprising. Over the years, many have suspected that the hip-hop mogul has several politicians and higher-ups in the police force on the payroll who have allowed him to get away with even murder at times. Mind you, Kanye West dropped the ball on this one when he said that Diddy was connected with the feds. And a lot of folks seem to forget that Diddy was also given the key to New York City. It's hard to imagine Diddy doing anything that would earn him that honor, but here we are. And it looks like Diddy's reach extends to the church as well, because guess whose name popped up in Rod's lawsuit? It was none other than the Dallas megachurch pastor of the Potter's House, Thomas Dexter, T.D. Jakes. According to the lawsuit, Diddy planned on using the past to soften the impact on his public image of Cassie Ventura's lawsuit. However, it's worth mentioning that T.D. Jakes was only name-dropped in the lawsuit. He wasn't named as a defendant. But that doesn't give Jakes a free pass. It's not exactly his first rodeo either. Back in December 2023, T.D. Jakes' image as a holy man of God was almost flushed down the toilet. Social media platforms were swarmed with reports of the pastor hanging around with Diddy at his parties. Now, what business would T.D. Jakes have at a Diddy party? Well, Jaggy were right, has something to say about that. And if you think the pairing feels too random, well, then boy, does the internet have some news for you. T.D. Jakes and Diddy have apparently known each other for a long time. Back in 2021, Jakes debuted a sermon series on the record producer's cable television network, Revolt Media. However, when folks asked T.D. Jakes about what's up with him and Diddy, he straight up denied everything. While speaking at the Potter's house on Christmas Eve, Jakes said, "The worst that could happen if everything was true, all I gotta do is repent sincerely from my heart. There's enough power in the blood to cover all kinds of sins. I don't care what it is. The blood would fix it, but I ain't gotta repent about this." At the end of the day, the masses feel like there's no need to debate Diddy's innocence. He's been implicated in too many scandals and deaths over the years for people to look the other way, and it's about time he paid the price. One fan commented, "Diddy has run from situations time after time. Everybody else had to suffer from him. Now it's time that he pays for all his wrongdoings." But what do you think? Do you think a day will come when we'll see Diddy behind bars? Let's know in the comment section below. Until next time.